Welcome back to R Programming 101. This is where you find out that R is not only powerful and useful, but it's also fun and pretty easy to use. So stay with me. So this video forms part of the R Programming for Beginners. So we're getting back to the basics. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to access and use existing datasets within R. So R actually comes with datasets. You can use them and practice your data manipulation and your data analysis and your statistical analysis. And what I want you to do is I want you to literally repeat the analysis that I'm going to walk you through right now, right? So you can access the dataset and you can do this at home, and that is the best way to learn. I've already installed the tidyverse package. So right, you only ever have to do that once. Once it's been done once, you never do it again. But every time you want to use that package in a new session, you have to say either require or library, and you tell R what packages you want to use. So I'm going to run line 2, Command Enter, and load that package. Right, now I'm going to zoom in, Shift Control 1 on the code. So firstly, if you want to see a list of all the data sets that are existing in R, that are already there for you to use and practice with, just push data, open brackets, close brackets, Command Enter, and there's your list. Now there are some data sets that come with packages. So once you've installed the tidyverse package, you get additional data sets, one of which is the Star Wars data set, and we're going to have a look at that today. So let's have a look at the Star Wars data set. We type in View, Star Wars, and there's the Star Wars data set. So we're going to do a simple analysis here. I'm a medical doctor, so I'm interested in how healthy the various characters in the Star Wars movies are. One of the ways as doctors we look at health is we look at something called the body mass index. And to calculate the body mass index, we take the mass in kilograms and we divide it by the height in meters squared, and we get a body mass index. Right, and we could ask the question, is the body mass index different in males or females? Males and females, right? So we've got gender here, so we want to look at height, mass, gender, and we might want to say we just want to stick to humans because we don't think droids will have a significant body mass index or anything meaningful there. Okay, so let's have a look at how we would do that. Okay, we're going to tackle this data set the tidyverse way, and we're going to use these things called pipe operators. And I've talked about them in a previous video, and they're very easy to use. It's very intuitive, and it allows us to string together the tidyverse vocabulary. Okay, we start off by saying we're working with the Star Wars data set. And then we put in our pipe operator. And the pipe operator, if you don't know what it means, think of it like this. It means and then. So we take what's on the left-hand side of the pipe and we pipe it into the right-hand side. We're going to do it on separate lines. I'm going to go to a new line after each pipe operator, but R is going to think of it as one long continuous line of code, and it's going to run it all together at once. Now the Star Wars dataset has got lots and lots of variables. We only want to work with a handful of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to simplify our lives and make things a little bit easier by selecting certain variables, and it is literally that easy. We type in the word select, open brackets, and we type in the variables that we're interested in. Gender, mass, height, species. Push Command Enter. Okay, so we can see R has produced now a much smaller and more manageable data frame. It's only got the 4 variables that we're interested in. We include species because we're going to want to filter out anything that's not a human, right? So droids aren't of interest in this particular analysis. So let's do that, right? We're back at our source. Again, we put in our pipe operator, which is Shift Command M. Go to the next line and let's type in filter. We want our species to equal to and human. And we use the double equal tos because we're asking a question. Command Enter. And we've got gender, mass, height. We still have an NA here, and I'm not sure why that's there, but we don't want it. So we're going to say NA omit and get rid of it. Now in this video, I'm not going to get into the science behind when you do and don't use NA omit, when you do and don't remove rows that have missing values. I'm really just trying to teach you how to use these pipe operators and how to use these functions. So let's not worry about that too much. Let's stick in a pipe operator for argument's sake and say NA omit and just open brackets, close brackets, push enter, control enter, and you'll see that that missing value row is gone completely. There you go, gone. Shift Control 1 to go back to the source. Now we want to create our body mass index, but you'll notice if we look at the data that our height is in centimeters and we need that to be in meters. So we want to change that variable a little bit. Let's do that. We push in a pipe operator and now we use something called mutate. Okay, open brackets, we type in height, right? We could be creating a new variable now, but what we're going to do is we're just going to basically tell it to change height. So we say height is equal to height divided by 100. Now, you'll notice I didn't use the double equal tos. We're not asking a question, but we're telling R to change height and make it equal to what height was, but divided by 100. And we can see that the height is now no longer in centimeters, but it is in meters. Now we're going to create a new variable called body mass index. I'm just going to push all this code up a little bit so we can see it more neatly. And okay, so we type in our pipe operator, Shift Command M or Shift Control M on a PC. And again, we're going to use mutate. This time we're going to say BMI. So we're telling it it's a new variable called BMI. It's got to be equal to mass divided by height squared. And that's how you raise something to the power right there. Command Enter. And voila, we've got a BMI that's calculated for each observation. Now finally, we want to ask the question, is there a difference in terms of the BMI between men and women, or males and females, in the Star Wars universe? And we're not going to do a statistical test. We're just going to basically find out within this population, are we seeing a difference, right? So to do that, there's two things we need to do. Firstly, we want to group by gender, and then we want to create a summarize. And here we give this any name, but we're going to let's call it average BMI, and that's going to be equal to mean BMI. Command Enter. Right, and here's our little summary. We can see that the average BMI for females in the Star Wars universe was 22, and the average BMI for males was 26, slightly overweight. Right, this wasn't that difficult. Get the Star Wars dataset on your computer. Do this analysis. Literally go step by step the way I did. It is the best way to learn. Make a comment in the description below and tell me how you did.